Dave, congratulations, a winning start on our return to League One. How pleased are you with today's performance?
Really pleased with the results, really pleased with aspects of the performance. I suppose it threw up exactly what I thought it would throw up. So yes, some good bits, some bits that we need to get better at, but the fact that, or where we are, and to be able to score 2 goals here, keep a clean sheet and get our first win of the opening day in 5 years is massive testament to the work that's been done over the 6 weeks we've been together. But the biggest, I suppose, factor or the biggest thing about it is I think there's so much more to come from us. But we know where we're at. There'll be no sort of over-celebrating, if you like, around what we've done. Very much a work in progress and lots more improvement to be had.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the first half was good. I thought the second half was terrific. I don't know quite what you said at half time, but it seemed to me as if maybe his Camps a little bit higher up, Lewis Bate a little bit higher up. The press was better second half. You're winning the ball in some amazing areas, and that created lots of opportunities in the second half. Did you change things?
No, not particularly. I think we did that in the first half. I think we made, again, one thing we need to improve on is if we're going to press and we make teams either make mistakes or play forward, then we've got to be better in transition in terms of do we secure the ball or do we look to make that killer pass. We had opportunities in the first half. It was a little bit more difficult in the first half. That although it was only a slight breeze, it wasn't a breeze, which means you're always sort of on the back foot a little bit. And the second half, because they're chasing the game, just becomes a little bit more stretched, a little bit more spread. They're taking some more chances. How they changed a little bit when the game progressed. For me, especially after the second goal, that's when we've worked a lot on having control and being able to build and draw teams onto us to then play through them. I don't feel we did that well enough. I think we saw the best versions of us in terms of doing that, because if we had, then I think there'd been more impact from Louie and more impact from Jack and more impact from Will. Will got his rewards, if you like, by a Will Collar performance, a powerful running performance and getting himself in great areas and pressing and closing, and really unfortunate not to get a couple of goals. But loads of positives, but in the same breath, loads to work on.
Kyle was a good focal point for you today, and obviously involved in the assist for the first goal and grabs his own goal as well in the second half. I thought he was a real positive for you today. It's
going to be hugely important for us. We said about wrapping him up in cotton wool. It needs to be thicker than cotton wool because we are short on strikers at the moment. Yeah. And we don't have we have alternatives, but not as effective as what he is. I thought, again, you look at impact, I thought Jaden, his impact from the bench was fantastic for him to put the ball in and to get his goal after he had a little bit of a to-do down in front of the dugouts with one of their defenders. We've spoken about him and what he brings to the team. He has his critics. I'll never be one of his critics because I know how hard he works day to day. And he doesn't always get his just desserts. He's got them to a certain degree today, but I still think there's loads, like I say, loads to come from him. He's probably the can't think of the word, but he's probably the most unfortunate person on a football pitch in terms of how he is treated by defenders, yet he fails to get a foul given against him. And I think if you look today, I can't remember a foul being for him. I can remember lots being given against him for doing very little or very similar to what I might have done against him. But he keeps going, he keeps working for the team, and as I say, he'll be massive for us.
Yeah, it was a really good performance from Kyle today, and I've got to ask you about the opening goal though today. I mean, you nearly scored after 17 seconds, in fairness. Jack Diamond had a chance, but Louie Barry, probably the only player on the pitch that could have done that, I think, today.
I don't know, maybe you're taking that away from some. We've got some technically very, very good players. Yeah. Louie is seeing the opportunity. That's the first thing you have to do is recognise it, and then second thing is carry it out, and he's done it to perfection. So, listen, I still think he has, and probably he feels he's got plenty to prove.
I think he said that
because
now, yeah.
It wasn't the real Louie Barry. Came back end of last year. He was nowhere near fit enough, and he's not fit yet. He's probably 3 weeks behind in terms of where we want him to be, but he's going to be important for us. So we've got to manage how we get him fit with the games that are in front of us, because ultimately we need to keep on winning and keep on picking up points. It'll be a balance in terms of what we do with him, and we need to celebrate and the bits that he does well and keep working on that, but ultimately develop him as a player. And there's still loads to come from him. Again, he's aspirational. He wants to play as high as he can. He knows that he needs to crack it at League One, but League One's a long, long way away from where the Premier League is. So still loads of development within him, loads to work on individually, and loads to work on as part of the group.
Every now and then today it got a little bit physical, and you must have winced more than once, I guess, because you have got this glut of injuries at the moment. And probably the most worrying was right at the end, Louie Bate coming off.
I suppose that for me is why you talk about control. To not allow them situations to happen. So use that as an instance. We've got the ball with comfortable possession. He'd be sloppy and gives the ball away. And there was some other instances in the first half where the sloppy passes, you get people hammered. And is giving the ball away there in the grand scheme of things the biggest crime? No, it's not. But the consequence of it is we have to work hard and get back, and one of our players gets kicked and is injured as a result of it. So does that happen if we look after the ball? No, it doesn't. Now, the argument could be, it could happen somewhere else. I don't care. It didn't happen somewhere else. It happened because we gave the ball away sloppily. He's got a kick. Listen, I've said before, I think he'll be fine, but I've been proved wrong many, many times, so I won't say too much. Would we have seen him Tuesday? Probably not. And the sole focus will be getting him fit for Blackpool next weekend.
Tell me a little bit, just finally, about Tuesday. You talked about wrapping Woods in cotton wool, and he's not the only one. What kind of team, what kind of approach do you think you'll be taking to that game on Tuesday against Blackburn?
It'll be a very young team. Yeah. Listen, the competition for me is important. I got to the final as a player, so I know what memories you can create from that. But we're not in a position where we can risk players. We've one come off today. That takes us, if he's not fit, takes down to 12 senior outfield players, and we can't afford to risk anybody. In saying that, there's some that need minutes and there's some that will get minutes, but there'll also be an element of youth team players and scholars in there, which is a great opportunity for them. Yeah. But it's a great opportunity against a really good team, and could be a tough night for us. I'm willing to accept that, unfortunately, in this situation, because I have no choice to make, really, because we've got to make sure we're as strong as possible, or as close to full strength as possible, in going to Blackpool next weekend in order to back up what we've done this afternoon.